What's going on, everybody? Hope your weekend's going alright. I think I should be getting this to you, well, on Saturday or so.
Good. What did you find at Wolf Skull Cave? Potema herself? Please tell me you stopped them. You've done a larger service to the realm than you could possibly know. A resurrected Potema. I shudder at the thought.
Actually, I think I more interrupted them than stopped them. I may have done more harm than good, to tell you the truth.
If I needed something from you, you would know it. I can teach you, but I won't be held responsible for what you do with the knowledge.
Actually, I probably won't do anything with it. I just need something to, pad my leveling a little bit, aside from the things that I'm always using.
Take a look.
It's nice to train in these things I'm never going to do, because it's still cheap. Stuff I haven't really used, and it's only a couple hundred gold per level.
You,
Speaking of those vampires, I guess we'll go take care of them. It's time to just go explore some caves. Just do something just because we can. And apparently these vampires give vampires a bad name, right? They're beneath her standards or something. They don't meet her qualifications. They're not civilized enough or something, but she wants us to go essentially exterminate them. They don't fit into her category of vampire. That sounds cool with me. Actually, to be a pretty close spawn spot. Fast travel location to the Dragon Bridge, where we need to go for the Dark Brotherhood. Eventually, we'll get around to that. It's been kind of in the back of my mind. There's some other stuff I want to do too, though. We haven't really done much of anything for the companions yet. Haven't even gotten to turn into a werewolf or any of that good stuff. The only thing we've really done is Thieves Guild. That was fun. That was cool. We could still go back and do some chores for them, but that storyline's pretty much essentially finished. Dealing with Mercer Frey and getting everything back in order with Nocturnal. That was the main issue with all that. I think we're gonna find here that just normal dragons, aside from like the Elder Dragon variety and stuff, we've pretty much outleveled these guys. These they don't pose much of a threat anymore. Not that they ever really did. The name dragons are something to be reckoned with, but these guys right here, these are these are just fodder to provide us souls, so we can fuel our shouts. That's about all these guys are good for. They're notice he hit me full in the face with fire, and any other dragon that probably would have killed me right there. So yeah, I think these guys have outlived their usefulness. Well, I mean, it's nice to get a free soul every once in a while, but they don't put up much of a fight anymore. Kind of like normal Draugr and normal bandits. They're more a waste of the charge on your weapon than they are an actual threat. But they do serve their purpose. They do provide a little loot, give you something to look at and swing at as you work your way through dungeons and caves and stuff. But yeah, they're not much of a threat anymore. It's there is something to becoming powerful enough where every once in a while you just have an easy win. There is something to that. If you've done a lot of leveling and a lot of work towards your character, at some point it's nice to go in there and do that. I don't like running through the game on easy mode all the time. I don't like always being overpowered, one-hitting everything, and that gives me no sense of personal accomplishment. Some people like to play like that, and that's fine. I consider that more story mode. You're just running around just so you can see the sights, but, not looking for any real challenge or anything. I personally like to think things through when I go through stuff. So when I beat it or I get past an area, I can say, I did that. It posed a threat. It posed some kind of challenge, and I beat it. I like to be able to tell myself that. And, did this brigand spawn, like, right on top of me? I think so. Wow. I think where it spawned, I was inside of this brigand or something. Well, that's, not comfortable. Kind of forgot about this little landmark place. There's a couple places like this that get special map markers. They look like, well, kind of like a butterfly, for lack of a better word. I don't know, but I wonder what's so special about these. Aside from, you do usually find a skill book at these places. There's usually a skill book present, and like here, you see this alchemist that apparently got killed trying to collect ingredients or something. Maybe it's related to maybe a little side quest somewhere in the game or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's mentioned in lore somewhere, or mentioned in one of the books or something. And then, anyway, whatever. Pretty good spot for alchemy ingredients. Oh, and a chest. I'll always take a chest. Thank you very much. Get out of my way. Alright, well, there you go. Boy, the ambient sound in the background is awesome here. The wind in the trees and stuff. I remember walking through an area similar to this in Oblivion, and the ground wasn't near as detailed. Might have a few clumps of grass here and there, but it was all relatively uniform. Kind of standard. You know, they obviously couldn't do as much back then as they can do now with new, you know, graphics engines and stuff that they have available to them and what have you. Not really an increase in hardware. I mean, you know, Oblivion was, you know, 360 and PS3 as far as that goes. But you know, they've been tweaking and upgrading their stuff as they go along, and with the next Elder Scrolls on next gen, probably going to be pretty impressive. I kind of wonder how it's going to look. If you think about it, the artist that is responsible for much of what you see here, a lot of what you saw in Fallout, believe it or not, a lot of what you saw in Shivering Isles at the end of Oblivion, with the Oblivion DLC, he passed away, tragically enough. He seemed a pretty cool person from what I read on him, but his art style, well, you know, I mean, you take an artist out of the picture, their influence, I mean, you can't overstate it enough, is you know, what an impact it has. I mean, it's literally going to dictate how, you know, the overall flavor of everything that you see, how it appears. And, you know, I mean, this guy, if nothing else, Skyrim is almost instantly recognizable, even down to the trees and the way the landscape and stuff looks at a glance. You know, you can see a screenshot of something random in Skyrim without the heads-up display, or without any characters in the screen. Just a screenshot of the world itself, and it's almost instantly recognizable anywhere. That's pretty impressive to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna give the guy kudos and say, man, that's pretty awesome, because to have that kind of impact where your work is. I mean, you know, that's, you know, when you're talking about art, you look at the masters and some of the classic paintings from back in the day. You know, the stuff that you know, the Mona Lisa. And I mean, there's billions and billions of works and stuff. You know, like the Louvre and stuff, and all the big museums and things. The masters, the Rembrandts and the Picassos and the so on and so forth. You recognize if you're familiar with their stuff, you recognize their work instantly. You can say the same for this guy right here. And so would I compare this to a Rembrandt or a Picasso? Absolutely. You know, actually I would. Somebody who's left their mark on something so distinctively that you recognize it instantly, that pretty much speaks for itself. My opinion. But I wonder where they're going to lean with Elder Scrolls 6. Who they'll go with as far as the artists are concerned. Will they try to recapture this individual style of art, which, you know, it's kind of a stretch. If you're not drawing from the same creative well that an artist is, you know, which no artists are drinking from the same water. Each artist is unique. They're going to have their own thing, their own style, their own way of doing whatever. When you try to copy someone else's stuff, you usually come across that way as trying to copy their stuff. Usually what artists will provide is their take on something. They'll see something and then they'll show you their interpretation of it. This is how they see it. This is what they feel you were trying to achieve, and then they put in their own expression on that. Music's the same way. You hear someone's, you hear a band copying a song from another band. It doesn't sound alike. It basically never sounds identical. A lot of times it'll sound completely different, sometimes even better, based on your taste in music and stuff, because it'll be someone's interpretation or take on that particular music. Well, art's the same way. There were a lot of things I really liked about the art in parts of Oblivion. I really liked Skingrad, the way they laid the city out. I liked a lot of the towns. There were times out in the wilderness, especially up in the mountains, where I thought it was a bit bland. And maybe there were graphics limitations. I guess that's possible. That maybe that was the sole reason for it. But there wasn't the same obvious, not only attention to detail, but wasn't the same character put into the environment. I mean, true enough, even if you can't throw in quite as many trees and quite as much grass and different kinds of bushes and stuff like that, still, there was some areas around Oblivion where I was like, eh. But then there were some spots inside some of the Ayleid ruins. I thought they were done fantastic. The huge vaulted ceilings, even though you know you're underground, and the glowing crystals done so well. And the light shimmering off of certain objects and their magical stuff, potions and things like that. I mean, that was done pretty amazing in Oblivion. And that was a different artist. That was a different thing. You could see a kind of a shift when you went to the Shivering Isles. There was a definite different flair. Now, I know it was the Realm of Madness. You know, it was Sheogorath's, little spot to, his little playpen over there. But still, there was, you could see a completely different thing, a different flavor in there. No worse, maybe even better in some ways, but just different. Completely different character. Close enough where you still knew you were in Oblivion. They kept a lot of the same skins, the stuff. But they did introduce a lot of other things. The whole Mushroom World and stuff might have even been a nod back to the, Morrowind in early Elder Scrolls days. So, for those that wanted a bit of that in their life, I think maybe the Shivering Isles provided that. I love the DLC, period. But you get down to some Ayleid ruins in the, the vanilla Oblivion, the base game, as it was when it was released, or go into some of the towns. Breville was awesome. I think they did really well in giving it kind of a, a sun-bleached coast look, where you go there and you can almost smell the salt air. You can hear the ship bells ringing and stuff, and the birds, seagulls flying around type of thing. I mean, it was cool. It had that whole feel. The whole town did. It was pretty neat. Skingrad was neat the way it was laid out. Shadenall, I really liked that. It had kind of a quaint village feel to it. Just unique. Very unique. Leywin had, kind of a well-to-do city, yet it was somewhat out in the marshes, and it just had that kind of feel. And you notice there was a lot of Argonians there. I mean, the whole flavor just fit. It fit. So there was stuff like that too. Abruma was kind of neat. Not done as well as the Skyrim towns and villages here, though, I don't think. It actually carried over architecture-wise. It leaned a little bit more towards some of the other towns in Oblivion, obviously done by the same person, But the whole Nordic, rustic look, I think, is carried over really well here. Even when you get into areas like Solitude and stuff, where you're not talking about thatched roofs on, hand-built houses and stuff like that. Here, you're talking about everything from mansions to normal, you know, houses along the street and stuff. Different. A lot more brick, a lot more stone, very, more medieval. I guess you could say there's a medieval feel to a lot of the bigger cities and stuff. And then when you get into the smaller towns like the lumber mills and stuff like that, like, you know, Riverwood and stuff, then you have more of a rustic village feel to it. So that's, you know, it's pretty cool. I really like it. Just different. Just rambling, but just some thoughts and stuff. Just looking ahead, wondering what they're going to come up with in Elder Scrolls. Looking at Fallout 4, having played a lot of Fallout 3. Well, there's going to be a lot more color. Obviously, anybody who's watched the watched the gameplay reveal, you know, the E3 showcase for Bethesda and stuff like that. That's, you know, I mean, if you're like me, you've probably rewatched that. I don't know, probably 100 times since it came out, just to look for little stuff in there and get some hints as to what we might expect and stuff. And I saw some darker, dingier, dustier areas, more underground feeling stuff. I'm really going to miss the subways from Fallout 3 if they don't include any of that. I need some subways in my life. I need some, or sewers. Subways, sewers, or both. Give me some of that in my life. I need the underground stuff where ghouls and or rad scorpions or giant ants. They can even be giant fire-breathing ants. I'm cool with that. Doesn't matter. Just give me some of that. But there's a lot more bright areas and stuff like that. And if you're outside in the world, and it's been a minute since the bombs fell and stuff, there's still going to be some nature left. I love the grayscale of Fallout 3. I thought it was uniform, and it gave a certain feel to the entire game. And I would hate to be one that didn't like that, because if I didn't like that, then I probably wouldn't like any part of Fallout 3. But seeing it's a pretty beloved game by a lot of people, I'm going to assume that a lot of people would agree that it had a consistency. Wherever you went there, you knew you were in the game. And there was an immersion value there. As far as that went, it was the same everywhere, all the time. And pretty cool. Fallout 4, we're going to get a more realism, I think. We're going to get a lot more stuff. I think it's going to allow for, if you remember in Fallout 3 when you go to Tranquility Lane, the look of the area is sort of the same, although it has that whole, everything's a little too bright and too clean, too polished look. And that was on purpose, of course, because you were in a simulator, right? You were in your head. But it was also a break from the reality of the game. True enough, it's a game. It's not reality, no. But there's a certain world, there's a certain ambience that the entire game has, and then you get away from that, and it gives you like a break from it. It's sometimes it's kind of refreshing, sometimes it's kind of disturbing or whatever. It's one reason, and I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this, but this is just a preference thing, okay, guys? This isn't knocking the DLC. It just DLCs. I'm going to say that plural. They just really didn't fit. Were Operation Anchorage. And I know that's going back to before the bombs fell. I understand that, so there is that to excuse it. And Mothership Zeta, which I thought, personally, it didn't fit into the Fallout world that I enjoyed. I don't need alien blasters in my life. That's not for me. For those who that is your thing, then that was just your dream come true and all that. And that's great. For those that love the DLC, I'm not knocking the DLC. I'm saying it didn't fit into my personal game experience in the way I like to play. It took me out of it. It took me out of the game. It broke the immersion for me. Even running across that crashed UFO, it would always, in the back of my head, how can I put this into words? It would bring to mind, they're going to throw some shit in the game that doesn't belong there. That's what would creep into the back of my head. And true enough, with Mothership Zeta, that's kind of how it came across. The DLC, if it wasn't Fallout 3, it would honestly be kind of fun. But being Fallout 3, I felt it was kind of trespassing on my turf. This was my personal game experience that was special to me, and this didn't belong. And for those of you that say, well, it's lore-friendly, maybe having something in reference to the early Fallouts or whatever, I'm only drawing off of Fallout 3 here. That's the well that I'm drinking from here. So it didn't really fit that for me. It didn't fit the rest of the game. Anyway, that was just me. With Fallout 4, it looks like you're going to have a little bit of everything right off the top. A lot more color, a lot more realism, different stuff. The way it strikes me, looking at Boston, as they showed it, you still have paint peeling off the walls from when the bombs fell and stuff, but a lot of stuff is still intact. and it looks like you have more of a bustling community trying to ignore the fact that the world was one time destroyed, and now they've kind of moved on, type of thing. That can go both ways with me. Really wanting to get into the game, I need a bit of the world has been destroyed. I need a bit of that post-apocalyptic wasteland. I need some Mad Max in my life. When it comes to the game, if you want to take a break from that and give a moment where you can go back to town and kind of where everyone's walking around mindfully ignoring the destruction outside of Boston and just living in their own little community and trying to pretend like what was that girl up there on the bridge in Arafu, where you go to deliver Lucy West's letter in Fallout 3. You have that lady who is still convinced that there's PTA meetings, that she's still baking cookies, that the kids are out playing in the front yard, that she's got a pie cooling on the windowsill, right? I mean, she's so far in La La Land that now if you've got an entire town that's trying to dwell in that same type of thing, that can in and of itself be a particular character of the game, where as soon as you leave the city, all of a sudden it's Deathclaw to the face and some bubbling pit of radiation off, in some wasteland area, not a mile from the city. That's great if you want to give me like zones where different stuff is going on. I'm hoping that, and this is how it kind of came across, that in the initial starting area of Fallout 4, like they say the game starts before the bombs fell and then you come back after, and that's about all Todd Howard revealed of that, thankfully. That there's the that supreme feeling of loss of life that I got in a lot of areas in Fallout 3, and I can think of one area in particular. I remember mentioning it when in the Let's Play series that we did on Fallout 3. I never did find the place. I was actually going to point it out if it ever came up in one of the videos, and we cut the Let's Play off. We finally got through the main story and never got to the place, but it was this playground. And if you listened, and I was fortunate enough to have some headphones on at the time when I was crossing by this place, you could hear children laughing very faintly on the wind in the background like ghosts, and it was a creepy wow moment. It wasn't just creepy, it was kind of ethereal. It was like, holy crap, man. And it got that message across is the games that adults play when they go to pushing buttons and dropping bombs on themselves to show whose nuts are bigger is one thing, but the price that everyone, which is the other 99% that aren't involved in their little political power struggle and their pissing match that they have between countries and stuff, the people that are just trying to get along, and the kids going to school because their parents told them they had to and stuff, these kids, they're gone. That's it. Over. They don't come back. This is you can't put in another quarter and start again. This is World War III. It's over. World's destroyed. Whatever's left, you pick up the pieces and move on until you're dead too, type thing. I mean, this is, a real slap in the face of reality. And that was an amazing moment. And it was so small. Such a small detail. No technical genius was probably required to just put a little ambient noise in there. But it was just at the right spot at the right time, and it was like, wow. That kind of detail, that's what you're looking at. I want to find some moments like that also in Fallout 4. That same attention to, the issue at hand is that, they dropped the bombs. That men did it without really thought of consequence in the future. I mean, you're thinking in the moment, and you're thinking, there is no winning of that war as far as that goes. Everybody loses type thing, and to just sit there and experience the devastation and realize this isn't undoable. This isn't fixable. There's no going back from this, and just the finality of nuclear war and stuff. That kind of stuff. That's amazing. And you don't want it every 5 seconds to where you become numb to it. You don't want it to happen all the time. You just want moments like that. Or I do. I'm speaking for myself. Want moments like that in the game where it's just, it's special. It's really, really cool. Anyway, hoping we have some of that to look forward to. But it's got a whole different art style, I would say.
Oh, thanks. Feel better.
Not so different that it's not recognized as Fallout, but there's some changes there. Most noticeably, the Nuka-Cola bottles. I wonder about that. I wonder why. I mean, when they change something like that, that's that's a change for a reason. There's got to be a point. Maybe when the bombs fell and the last of the Nuka-Cola was being produced, they were having a summer thing, you know, when did the bombs fall in Fallout? It's June, isn't it? Isn't it like right before 4th of July or something? Maybe it was going to be like a 4th of July type thing, and so they had the Nuka-Cola bottle shaped like rockets or something. You know, I don't know, just guessing, just throwing it out there. Something like that. Or maybe they've started producing Nuka-Cola again. They found a way to start manufacturing it again in Boston, and that's the new bottles. I kind of wonder. Although, no, I take that back, because in the showcase, when the guy opens the fridge, in the reveal trailer, it's before the bombs fall, and that's what the bottles look like. They have kind of a rocket-shaped thing. But, you know, this isn't DC. This isn't the West Coast. This is Boston. This is a new area, so marketing things may change from area to area. They don't just throw stuff like that in there without giving thought to it as to what or why they're doing it. I don't think Bethesda's the type to just go in there and change shit just because they can. There'll be a purpose or a point to it somewhere. And it'll probably be explained somewhere. If you're looking for an answer, you'll probably find it. Well, I'm sitting here flapping my lips about whatever. We're sitting here in this cave full of these Falmer. I came in here because I saw it on the map marker. I saw it on the compass, and I'm like, I'm just going to go to a random cave just because I can. And this is what we found here. I don't know if this cave is related to maybe a side quest later, a companion thing, or I don't know, something. But I just decided to come here just because I could. There was a bit of a little ritual thing just to get into this place. It required you to put some glowing mushrooms on the little brazier as an offering to get the door open. Maybe think that maybe you come here, like you could go to pretty much any area in the game. Some areas are closed off. You'll need a key specifically, or you'll need a claw to get any farther in an area, you know, like one of the Dragon Claw, you know, puzzle key things. They do have that in place to prevent you from going some places unless you're on that particular quest. But a lot of places you can discover whether you're on the quest or not. Like you can stumble on Clavicus Vile. You can stumble on his cave without having met the dog first, I believe. I know you can stumble on the cave. I don't know if you can get all the way back to where his little statue is. It's possible you may not be able to interact with it without having, what is this, Barnabas or whatever the little dog dude's name is. If he's not with you, maybe you can't interact with the statue, not sure. But you can find it. You can go there. Like, this could be quest related, but you don't have to be on the quest. You can just go discover it. Sometimes if there's like a thune, though, a word, a shout in there, sometimes getting to it usually requires a Dragon Claw type thing, and you'll have to have gotten that from somebody. Perfect example is Shroudhearth Barrow over there at Iverstead. Unless you talk to the guy about the ghost, quote-unquote, that's supposedly haunting the place, and then go investigate it, and then bring back this ghost dude's journal to explain what the hell he's doing there. I think this guy just one-shotted Uthgerd, man. What the hell? Okay, well, if you can one-shot Uthgerd, you're going to destroy me. Okay. Do not need to get stuck on a wall right now. That would not be good. Hey, go distract him for a second. He can probably one-shot my Atronak, honestly. But anyway, you go in there, and unless you go investigate it, bring back the journal, and get the claw from him, the area you go to actually get the word, you can't do that. You have to actually be on the... I guess you have to continue the quest. There's some areas like that. Warmonger, huh? Son of a bitch hit hard as a tank. Well, you should be afraid of him. He one-shotted you. That's saying something. Uthgerd, who can take on like 5 Draugr Deathlords by her damn self. and hold their threat for a while. This dude one-shot, or sure looked like it anyway. Oh, and he can heal too? I'll bet you that's a grand soul. It's at least a greater soul. It's probably a grand soul. Now, I think he should have some really special loot on him, if you ask me. Okay, well, killing him, we got the music, so that means that we've quote-unquote cleared the cave or finished the dungeon. Orcish armor is worth a bit, but damn, it's heavy. 35 units of weight for 1,000 gold is not that much gold per unit of weight. If it was 10 units of weight, it would only be 100 gold per unit, and it's 35 units of weight. So that's 3 gold per unit. Yeah, that's not a deal. Considering a potion worth 40 gold gives you 80 gold per unit, because they usually weigh about half a pound apiece, usually. Just put it in perspective. So sometimes when things seem like... Now, if you just have the room for it, if you've got an extra couple hundred units just sitting aside, I would, grab everything, but... This is seriously just a dank, dark cave. Now I have no idea how to get out of here. I think this is where I came in, right? Yeah. That's cool. Sometimes you hope to get lucky and find a new word for a shout in here. These random caves and stuff. Like this. I mean, this cave turned into a something of a Draugr burial type area, When you see the carvings and stuff sitting around and things, then you can assume. Anyway, there wasn't any event leaving the cave. I just immediately fast traveled here. Wonder if maybe, well, it's a little late now in the playthrough, but maybe start doing away with some of the loading screens. It's bad enough having to sit through them, but then even without having to wait through the loading screens, you're still like, damn, that's a lot of loading screens. There are a lot of loading screens in this game. I mean, like, a lot. Oh, wow. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's a dragon worth the salt. Worth being called a dragon. If I'd have took that full blast to the face, I would be dead. Kind of surprised to see one attacking me here in the middle of city. That is pretty cool, but they can randomly attack you literally anywhere. I'm trying to think if I've ever fought one in the middle of Whiterun. I know I've fought one in Windhelm. Pretty sure. Fought a lot outside of Windhelm. Like, you'll see him by the stables at Windhelm a lot. But in Windhelm, I believe one in Windhelm. I can't remember having fought one here in the middle of Solitude before this, though. I don't think so. Pretty cool. Got a good look at the night sky here, though. That is pretty cool. Some of the colors they come up with, the whole Aurora Borealis type thing. Wow. Okay, this dude's doing some damage. Well, I said they needed to level up the dragons, scale them up a little bit. I guess I got what I asked for. Can't complain about that. Alright, so if and when we ever get done killing this dragon, assuming he doesn't go find some, greater threat than ourselves, like a mud crab in some river nearby or something, pretending like he's not scared to fight us, he's gonna go find a bigger threat, namely any smaller creature that probably can't fight back. Some of the dragons are pretty bad about that. Come on. There's really something to be said for getting that upgrade where you can draw your bow faster and even move around faster with your bow drawn while you're firing. It really does raise your DPS. Let's see if I can get some good distance shots. Look at that sky, man. The sky's just cool. It's just cool, man. You really feel like you're at the top of the world type of thing. The whole North Pole thing going on or something. I'm actually surprised he's not dead yet. We let Mark for Death sink in a little bit. Surprised he wasn't taking a bit more damage. I've decided, just FYI, for you guys who have been keeping up with the playthrough, we're not going to use any blacksmithing or enchanting potions making our gear in this either. Normally I'll use ones that I find. I don't make them. I've never once used the restoration quote-unquote glitch that they talk about. None of that. But you find blacksmith elixirs and filter of the enchanter and stuff like that laying around in chests and on shelves and stuff. And I'll use them if I have them, to make, something 10% stronger here or 30% stronger, whatever. But I'm not using any of that. We're just going to straight up smith our stuff. Once our smithing gets to 100, we're going to straight up enchant our stuff. Our enchanting is at 100. I can probably go ahead and make my necklace and ring whenever I have a table handy. We'll probably go ahead and do that.
May the gods watch over your
If I needed something from you, you would know it. Filthy creatures, aren't they? Living in the darkness like they do. So uncivilized. I prefer finery, like this. Here, for your trouble. And I suppose I should show you a little about illusion magic for free, shouldn't I?
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Take care of yourself, and always remember, the world is ripe with people looking to spill your blood.
Do you have business?
Alright. Don't know what I'm going to put a point in right at this moment. There's some stuff I could probably throw into archery. Need to get my archery to 70 is what I need to do.
The court?
That's alright. We can save it.
It's
You don't
so
have
good
to spend
see
it.
You again. I can teach you, but I won't be held responsible for what you do with the knowledge.
Might as well. Yeah, it's still cheap. It's not even 500 per point right now, so I can do this.
Stay guarded.
That's really worth not having to go out and find something to throw fireballs and fire mines at, to boost it. I don't feel like boosting. The only thing that I'm probably going to train in or boost in at all would be heavy armor, block. I was thinking two-handed, but that's kind of slow. I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to go train two-handed probably with Vilcus, with the companions, actually. Start doing that, because that's still really low. So those are some really good, solid skills that I can use to pad my leveling a little bit. That stuff that I'm not going to be using. Although, I'm not going to lie, I do kind of miss the two-handed, especially with the ebony blade. Just because, well, damn it, it's a katana. It's my other favorite playstyle, aside from dual wielding. Actually, I think I am feeling sick. I think I've contracted the whole vampire thing. Go get that cured. And then, you know what? I think we're going to go and do some stuff. Speaking of Vilcus, let's go do some stuff with the companions. We've ignored them for a while. Notice the town is still a little bit busted up from us sacking it a while back. Yeah, let's go ahead and cure this real quick. See, Heimskr made it through the battle for Whiterun. Everyone hates Heimskr. I love Heimskr. Of course, I love Maura Brown in Fallout 3, and everyone hates her too, so go figure. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Listen to me blab my lips. Like I said, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for dropping in. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top if you haven't already. And if you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play, click that image there in the middle. It should take you to the playlist. Y'all take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.